are going to discuss about transformer stage. Later, we will discuss the aggregator stage. Transformer stage is one of the key processing stage. Using transformer stage, we are going to address almost all kind of issues or all kind of transformations that are available in a particular requirement. So through it, we can able to apply functions, we can able to write stage variables, we can able to write loop variables. I will explain one after the other all the major uses of a transformer stage. And without transformer stage, mostly there won't be any job. That's the importance that a transformer stage has. So let me show you. This is transformer stage. So we have done filtering using filter stage, right? The same thing can be applied on transformer. And we see the funnel stage. Similar task can be applied using transformer. Likewise, there are functions, string functions, date functions, or column-wise mappings, concatenations. Any kind of transformation can be applied with the help of a transformer. It is going to accept one single link, and multi-output links are available for this particular stage. Let's pick up a sample files. So I'm picking a sequential file stage. Say suppose for filtering the data based on department ID, what we did use filter stage, right? So the same thing can be applied using a transformer with the help of this constraint. Before that, first try to plug in these things we will try to see one after the other. Again, let me keep another sequential file over here. So let's consider this employee full data as one of the source file, and here you can see 10, 20, okay, departments are available. Employee full.txt. I'm copying this path and plugging in my sequential file. Employee full.txt. Make sure the file name is correct. No column names. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns are there. This is false. Delimiter is 5 symbol. Quotation is none. And let's load. I hope we have saved. No, we have not saved. What are all the columns that we have? Employee name, employee ID, department ID, employee name, employee ID, department name, department ID, category, gender, department name, and salary. Salary. This is integer. Department ID integer. Salary integer. Okay, we have done with the plugin. I'm trying to view the data. We are good in plugin the source file. Now I'm renaming these things. Employee data. Link to transformer. And this is transformer. So what kind of processing that we can able to perform with the help of transformer is, say suppose here I do have one uppercase and all the other things in lowercase. But I want complete employee name in uppercase itself. Say suppose Avinash is there like that, right? I want all the employee names in caps only. Okay, Avinash. So this can be done with the help of functions which are available in the transformer stage. Or say suppose I would like to concatenate something like Avinash from say IBM. Okay, so I would like to add the company name after their name with the delimiter of hyphen symbol. Then we can do this concatenation. This we call as concatenating, which is after the word. So this kind of operations also we can able to perform, or we can convert the, so here it is character, right? This particular column is character. I would like to convert that to numerical or something like that. Say suppose I do have in my source, I do have salary as something like this using including decimals, but I want only integer part. Those kind of data type conversions also can be done. And date conversions, like suppose I do have date something like this 2024 Jan 1st. This should be formatted like this one 2024 just 01 and 01. So such kind of date conversions or string conversions or some operations on the data, whatever the kind of operation, all sort of functions can be applied using transformer. There is no other stage where we can able to apply the column level transformations. Column level transformations means we can't able to change the data which is available in my source using any other stages, but that can be implemented using transformer stage. So how we can able to perform those things is here, see, this is similar to lookup stage. Even for lookup also we'll have this kind of view, but whereas every other stage has different kind of view, where here we'll get 3 tabs: stage, input and output. But only for lookup and transformer it is little different. Say suppose for employee name I would like to apply uppercase. I would like to convert this into uppercase. Then here 3 dots are there, right? So as I told, many functions are available. Not only functions, using transformer we can apply if else conditions. We can write our own data or our own derivation. So this is called as derivation. That means, say suppose all the columns are came to my target. This is my target link, right? Let me delete it once. So here these are the columns which are coming from my source. I am mapping all the columns to target, but here I would like to add some extra columns also. Okay, when we would like to add some extra columns to my target, I could not able to do that extra columns in any other stages, but here we can introduce new columns as well. Something like company name, company. Okay, and all these employees are from say suppose IBM. Then here what is the value need to be passed to this column? IBM itself, right? So I can add that IBM as derivation. Okay, so here if I give IBM, then for this particular column, all the rows will be populated using IBM. So such kind of introducing new columns or not mapping the existing columns, or I would like to add employee ID and department ID. Then here itself I can add, this is called column concatenation. So here I'm going to add the department ID as well. Or else to employee ID, I would like to add a suffix or prefix, something like this. Then to each and every employee ID, at the end we are going to get IBM value. So all these kind of conversions can be applied in the derivation section of my transformer. And you can see there is 2 other sections, which is stage variables and loop conditions. So what is stage variable and loop conditions are? Stage variables are something where we can write up a derivation for a column which can be used intermediately. Like suppose instead of, let me take one example. So here gender is coming, right? So in the data, we do have gender as F and M, but I would like to have female wherever F is there and male wherever M is there. Then we can perform the same thing by introducing a stage variable over here. Something like if gender is F, then female, else if gender is M, then male. Something like that. I'm going to derive a derivation over here, and I'm going to pass that stage variable as actual derivation to my column. Then what happens? Whatever the output that is being calculated in this stage variable that is going to pass over here. So I'll try to explain this stage variable using some realistic use cases. In that way, it is going to give better understanding. But the purpose of stage variable is, say, suppose we would like to calculate some intermediate outputs or intermediate results, which is further using in my actual column derivation, then we can make use of these stage variables. And this is loop condition. Loop condition means, say, suppose I do have data, something like this, IBM 123. Hello. Okay, if some data is coming like this, and I would like to segregate all the characters to one column and all the numbers to one column. So I suppose IBM hello should be passed to company tag, and 123 should be passed to company code. So these are two columns, company tag and company code are two columns which should be saved to my target. But what is the derivation or how I need to populate this tab is, from input I'm getting only one column. Out of this one column, first I need to separate this IBM, I need to separate the characters and the integers. All my characters should go to this particular column and all the integers should go to this particular column. Say suppose we do have such requirement, then what we do is we'll try to check each of the element in a loop. So first we will calculate what is the length of this word. Then we will try to point at each and every element. So this is, say, suppose index 0. At index 0, I is there, which is a character. So pass that one to company tag. Then go to first index, which is B, again character. So move it to company tag. Likewise, I'm going to iterate in a loop. So that operation can be implemented using the loop conditions which you are seeing over here. So here we can implement loop activity, and if there is any if else conditions, then we can derive them either in stage variable derivations, or also we can directly derive over here also. And I would like to add a column like inserted date. So here there is a column like date which is need to be saved to my target, which is not available in my source. And what value it should pass to this column is, say suppose this job is running monthly basis, like if there is a requirement like on each and every end of month we'll get salary, right? For processing the salary, say suppose there is a data stage job running, then in the target data we need to populate the date of that particular day, nothing but current date. So today's date is so and so, right, 21st March. So if today the salary is processed, then here I would like to pass 21st March. Likewise, I would like to pass current date to my target, then I can add the derivation using the functions, and here date functions will be available. If I give current date, then this is going to generate today's date to this particular column. Likewise, date kind of functions, or converting data type from one data type to other data type. There are many such cases, because every time our target and source will not be a sequential files. Most of the times these will be DB connectors or some other fixed data where already the schema is defined. Schema is nothing but metadata file. So as of now we are picking the data from sequential file, right? So this is fine. For sequential file to be read, we can give the data type as per the data that is available. But say suppose I am reading the data from a DB, then we must give the table definition as per the defined DDL that is available on the source. So on database, employee name is defined as varchar. Then here also we need to read the data in varchar format only. Otherwise, there might be cases where data loss is going to happen. Sometimes if I not keep this varchar, maybe some employees might have some special characters which is not allowed using character data type. So character is going to allow only A to Z. Special characters are not allowed. Then to allow those special characters, the column must be defined using varchar only. So say suppose my database is having employee name in varchar, but my target database is having only character. So what I need to do, I need to convert this varchar into char, or else sometimes date is going to be read in integer format, but while loading, we must define or we must convert that to date type. Then those kind of conversions, integer to float or decimal to float, date to integer, integer to date, all these kind of conversions been called as data type conversions. We specifically called as type conversions. So those kind of type conversions can be implemented using the functions which are available here in the transformer. Let me show you. So here, say suppose I would like to convert this department ID to varchar. Then here go to the functions, and here you are going to have type conversion. So when you click on type conversions, you are going to see all the kind of conversions that are available: date to decimal, date to string, decimal to date. So we are going to have all kind of conversions. We need to make use of them as we need. We'll try to make use all these things one after the other. If we did not get much time, I'll explain the purpose so that you can make use while you are having some exercise on the transformer stage. And say suppose my data is having some null values, like here there is no salary tagged for him. For Amruta, no salary is tagged because she joined today, and no single salary being credited to her account. That's the reason here some null value is there. So wherever null values are there, then I would like to populate those null values with something. I can do that using transformer, or else I would like to stop these null records. Then I can give a condition over here saying that if salary is null, then do not pass that records to my output. So such kind of condition can be applied using this constraint. Or else I would like to take only the people who are having salary greater than 15,000 or so. Then here I'm going to give salary is greater than 10,000 or 15,000, whatever may be the condition. Constraint is nothing but condition. So the condition need to be specified here. Then what it is going to do is, to this particular link, it is going to apply this condition and move to the target. So this is link to sequence. That means this link. I do have another link which is nothing but link to employee, or like that, or link to DB. Okay. So DB means database. So suppose I would like to send some data to database and also to sequential file. To the sequential file, I would like to say only the salary is greater than 15,000 or 10,000. And to the DB, I would like to pass only the employees from department 10. So those kind of conditions I can apply in my output links. So we do have two outputs, right? That's the reason here we did get two boxes. Here, what are the columns would you like to pass? I want all the columns. So we need to map all these things to here. And say suppose I want another link, and to this link I would like to pass only two columns, like employee name and employee ID. Then what I'm going to do, I'll pass only those two columns to this particular link. Likewise, we can have a number of links from a transformer, and any sort of condition can be applied to those links, and any sort of transformations are also be applied using a transformer stage. Let's try to understand one by one, and let me remove these things. And let's create a requirement. Let's have some understanding on what we are trying to do, and later we'll try to implement it. So to this data, we do have accounting, sales, and marketing. Three departments are there. So I would like to save accounting data to one file, sales data to one file, and marketing data to one file using transformer stage. Then how we can able to implement that we are going to first do it. And while doing that thing, say suppose wherever accounting is there, I would like to convert this name to this in uppercase, and wherever M is there, I would like to convert male. So these are the two transformations that I would like to apply on these two things. Then how we are going to get the requirement for a data stage requirement is, we call them as mapping sheets. Let me create a mapping sheet. So here no Excel is there. What I'm doing is I'm copying this data to my local, and first let's create a requirement like how we are going to receive in real-time projects. This we call as mapping sheet. So whenever we are working on some job from the starting, we must need to get the requirement and the mapping sheet. Both the things need to be get. Requirement is going to have a high level understanding, saying like my source is available on some Unix path, and you need to pick that file data and insert that data to a table which is available on so and so server. So we need to get the path details of our file. Let me give you the same thing using So this is my source which is resided on Unix system. We will not get these kind of figures. All these requirements will come on TDD document. TDD means technical design document. Okay. Just remember this terminology. FDD, functional design document. Okay, so FDD means that is going to be understandable by business people. Business people in the sense the people who are trying to give a requirement to the manager. They first work on this functional design document. Here what kind of discussion is going to be there is, I do have my employees on so and so server, so now I would like to give increments only for sales department. Say suppose that is what the functional requirement is. Then what this technical design document is going to have is, it is going to populate what are all the sales tables that we need to update with respective to the revised salary, and what is the revised salary percentage, from where we are going to get the source data. All that stuff is going to available in this technical designing document. And mapping sheet or requirement sheet, what this mapping sheet is going to have is, each column wise data is going to be available in the mapping sheet with including the mapping or mapping derivation. So I'll show you this mapping sheet now for our requirement. So say suppose on my Unix system, employee file is there, and here some transformations need to be applied, and then finally I would like to save the sales data to sales table, accounting data to accounting table, and marketing data to marketing table. Okay, this kind of details are going to available in my technical design document. In mapping sheet, what we are going to have is, how many columns are there. Say suppose here some 150 say 50 columns are there. Out of these 50, to this sales, I don't want all 50, but only 15 specific columns are being needed. What are the 15 specific columns that are moved to this sales? And what are, say suppose here I want only 20 columns. Out of these 20, only 10 are coming from Unix file, and the other 10 need to be derived in between while processing the data. So all the column level details are going to available in this mapping sheet. Now let's create a mapping sheet for our requirement. Let me copy the data. So what are all the columns that we do have? Employee name. Here I'm going to have my source, data type, target, data type, mapping, derivation. Okay. So in source, employee name is there, and in target, which is a file, and file name is sales.txt. Okay, and data column name, which should be employee. Here emp name is there, but while saving the data to sales.txt, I want the name as employee name, and the data type should be varchar, whereas here the data type is character. And what is the mapping derivation? As is. I don't want to change anything to this employee name. Pass the data which is available from source as is. No mapping need to be happen on this one. And what else we do have? Employee number. So here it is employee ID, which is an integer, but sales.txt. Here I don't want employee ID, but I would like to maintain the name as ID, and the data type is integer. No mapping derivation is there, as is. And then department ID. Department ID integer. I don't want that column in my sales.txt. Then this is category. This is also I don't want. Category, which is character, and I don't want that column to output. And gender. So gender is there, which is a char data type. So here I want in sales.txt, and this is gender. Data type is character. If M, then give male. If F, else F, then should rename it as female. So this is the derivation that I would like to apply on gender while saving the data to sales.txt. Then whatever we know, department name. Department name I don't want, and salary also I don't want. Okay, so as of now, this is character and this is integer. Okay, so this is my source details. So I would like to make a target file with these derivations from this particular source. And I also want another source, which is accounting.txt. Again, like this, I want one more file. I'm going to define the derivations even for this. So here the file name must be accounting.txt, and it should have emp name as emp name, data type is char, and I want all the data in uppercase. This is the derivation, mapping derivation, and employee ID integer, and here I want data. Say suppose 1 2 3 is there. Source is 1 2 3. Then in target I want 0 0 1 2 3. So I want to add 2 zeros to my employee ID while saving the employee ID data to this accounting.txt. This is the mapping that I would like to perform, which is nothing but adding a prefix. If we are adding something before to the data, then we call as it as adding a prefix. Say suppose I would like to add something at the end, then we call it as adding a suffix. Okay, so this is another derivation, and that's all. I don't want any other columns. So like this, we are going to get very granular level details at each and every column. Now, this is how our requirement is going to look like. Now we need to perform and we need to add the things. And here we might get a question like when the data should pass to sales and when the data should be passed to accounting. Here I'll give the filter like on if department ID is equal to 10, then save that data to sales.txt, and if department ID is 30, then save that data to accounting.txt. So then how we are going to perform this one? First, I'll keep a sequential file stage. Then since they are asking to give the filter, so here we are filtering based on department ID. So here we are going to keep a filter stage. After that, there are some mappings need to be done, which is we need to change M to male, F to female over here, and here we need to convert the data to uppercase. So these things can be performed using transformer only. So what we are going to do here, we are going to draw two output links, and we need to keep a transformer 1 and transformer 2, and finally this to be saved to sales.txt, and here this should be saved to accounting.txt. But since we can do the filtering activity using the transformer, what I am trying to do is I'll remove this filter, because anyhow filtering action can also be applied on transformer, but applying the functions cannot be implemented using a filter stage. So that's the reason I'm going to remove these filters. We must develop the job in an efficient way where the number of stages can be reduced, but the performance can be improved, which is called optimization of a job. So when we are doing something, that something need to be created in an optimal way where we are going to use less resource, but without disturbing the functionality. So that what will happen, the performance is going to be little high. That is what expected from an experienced people, so that it is not going to impact the project with respect to the quality and efficiency. So here we can implement like this, but since the filtering activity can be done through transformer, I'll remove this filter. And here now two transformers are there. Why there is need of two transformers is we need to apply transformations on my sales.txt and also on my accounting.txt. But since transformer stage allows multi-output links, we can apply both the transformations using a single transformer. So I'm deleting this one also. Finally, what we are going to have is a sequential file stage, a transformer stage, and two output files. This is how we need to think while designing a job. Now let's implement the same thing using this particular mapping. Okay, hope you get the requirement completely. So we will implement the same thing now. We are already done with the skeleton part. Only thing is I need to draw another link. So one is for my sales, link to sales, and this is link to accounting. Okay, and here also I need to keep a sequential file state. So this is target accounting. Okay, this is my target sales. So skeleton is done, and here we can add the annotation as we discussed, like this annotation. This job is doing so and so. This job reading employee data and applying transformations, then saving data to sales and accounting. This is the brief description on the job. Then we can give who has been developed. So developer, date, and that's all. CR number. CR or CR means change request number. Whenever we get a requirement, that will be tagged with a number. So that number also are going to be given us. So we are going to add that number as well here. And so the skeleton is done now. Now the reading is also done. We need to apply the transformations. First, I'm removing all these things. So I'm selecting, click on shift to select multi columns. Okay. When you select the columns using shift button, let me tell you. So here I selected employee ID row. Now I want to select all the columns till date. Then what I need to do is I need to click on my shift button and click on the last row. Then all in between columns are going to be selected. Click on delete key from your keyboard, which is going to delete. Click on S to all because it is asking confirmation. Are you sure you want to delete the column department ID? Yes. So it is going to ask for each and every column. Since we know we need to delete everything, I'm clicking on S to all, which is going to delete everything. Okay. Now this is my link to sales. What is the condition that has been given to save the data to sales is department ID must be 10. So go to the job here, first give the condition. So here my input column is department ID and is equal to what should be the department ID 10. So only department ID having 10 value is going to be sent to this output link to sales. Likewise here, what is the condition? Go back to your mapping sheet and check in which cases accounting.txt should be prepared when department ID is 30. So go back and click on these three dots and input column. So what is the input column? Department ID is equal to 30. So now we are done with filtering activity. Let's pass the columns now. So let's first derive the columns in sales. So how many columns should be there in sales.txt? 3 columns: employee name, ID, and gender. So map only those 3: employee name, drag, drop, and then employee ID, drag, drop, and then gender, drag, drop. Now we need to derive each of these things. So employee name, column name should be changed from EMP name to employee name, and no mapping derivation is there. So I need to change this column name. Column name can be changed over here, employee name. So to employee name, what of my input column is map? EMP name coming from my source been mapped to employee name of sales.txt. Then employee ID. Let's see what is the derivation for employee ID. No mapping is there, but the column name must be ID. So here it should be ID. And see, in the employee name, the source SQL type is char, whereas target SQL type is varchar. So I'm converting it to varchar. I just changed the data type. No function need to be applied for char to varchar conversion. Okay. And then gender. So for gender, we do have a condition, right? Whenever the value is M, then male should be populated. Whenever the value is F, then female should be printed. So we need to write an if-else condition. I'm changing the derivation now. Now the derivation is empty. Each and every output column must be derived before compiling successfully. So here we need to derive the derivation. I need to apply if-else condition, right? So go to these 3 dots and add this if then else. Now, what is your if condition? when my gender is equal to M. That means, again, click over here, click on input column. On which particular column we would like to apply the filter? On gender. So if gender is equal to, whenever your data is in character or varchar data types, you must enclose them in quotations, either single quote or double quote. So if your gender is M, then what need to be populated there? Male. Else, in all other cases, if it is not M, then only the case is F, right? So then print female. Okay. So we are done with the derivation. Whenever we do have M, then male is going to be male is going to be added to my gender column, and in all other cases, female is going to be added. We are done with sales. Now let's click on this link to accounting. We will get this part, this section of code. Now go back to your mapping sheet and check how many columns are there. Two columns are there, employee name and employee ID. My employee name must be in uppercase and employee ID must be added to a prefix 00. So for this, the data type should be character, because say suppose I do have 1, 2, 3 number and I do have 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. See, even though I have added 0, 0, that is not retained over here, because having zeros before a number is not going to give any value addition if the data type is integer, right? That's the reason, even though I am adding zeros, my number is not adding those zeros. But say suppose I converted this one to a character type text. Okay, then if I add zeros, the zeros will not change. See, if now even after adding the zeros, the zeros are not changing, because now my column is of text data type. Okay, similarly, when we would like to add a prefix with zeros, definitely that data type must be I'm sorry, data type must be string. Okay, so go over here, employee name, sorry, employee name and employee ID. Okay, this should be converted to character, so which is nothing but int to character, right? So click on this one, click on the functions, and then go to the type conversions. Type conversions is going to convert your data type from one data type to another. So I would like to convert integer to character. So here there is no such conversion available. Let's try to add it by changing the data type as char and see if it is going to give any errors or not. Let's see while execute. Sorry. So this employee name must be converted to a uppercase. For that, we need to apply string functions. Again, I will explain all these functions one by one. All these functions one by one, but uppercase is available in string functions. So go to the three dot, not here. Click your cursor at beginning and click on these three parameters. Then click on the function. Then click on string, and then uppercase is going to be there. So uppercase is here. Uppercase of string. What string you need to convert into uppercase? My string is nothing but my column name. So uppercase of employee name is going to convert my employee name into uppercase. And here I would like to add prefix, right? So to add something colon we can use, which is going to add it. What I would like to add? Two zeros. So add two zeros, then give a colon and then give the column name. So this is how the derivation need to be given to add a prefix. Say suppose I would like to add the two zeros at the end, then how I can able to do? Here add a colon, space, and in quotations give the something that you would like to add to your data as a suffix. Okay, since I would like to add zeros, I kept zeros and then my employee ID. So whenever our derivation is correct, then only we will get the color as blue. Otherwise, For long derivations, red color is going to populate it. So now we are done with the accounting changes also. The next thing we need to do is adding the plugins to my target file. So here let me give the path. Before that, here I am adding a new folder saying transformer, and I'm going to save the data in this particular folder. Copy the path, go back to your file, add the path. First line has column names, so this should be true, and the delimiter must be type, quotation must be none, column names. Okay, this is accounting file, so here the name must be accounting.txt. Please make sure those things before giving the names. We are done with accounting. Now let's do the same sort of plugins here as well. I'm giving the path, then file name. First line is true, and then delimiter I'm giving tab here, no quotations, none. So we are done with the changes. Let's save and compile. Demo transformer 1, save. Now compile the job. Now execute it. So total of 8 records been exported from my source, and out of that accounting.txt file consumed 2 records and sales.txt file consumed 3 records. Now let's see the data whether that is been added correctly or not. So to the accounting.txt, what are all the changes that we have done? The employee names must come in uppercase, and the employee ID should have a prefix of 2 zeros. So both the transformations are done. So this is good. Next, the sales.txt. So whenever M is there, then male should come. All are male employees only. So all 3 came male. So this is a simple example on how we can use a transformer. It is going to consume almost 2 to 3 classes. We'll try to understand and explore all the possibilities that can be implemented using a transformer stage. So tomorrow also we'll going to discuss about the same transformer. I'll come up with a clean requirement. We will try to implement with the help of the functions which are available over here. So far, any questions? Okay. Hoping all are clear. I'll upload the videos, go through and do practice as well. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Jhansi.